As your text described it, one of the most important elements of marketing is the selling function. Okay, things have to be sold to individuals. We talked about the high level of competition, and that level of that high level of competition increases the need or the importance of selling your product, selling your good or service to the consumer. Now, when we hear about the term selling, although some of us are actually engaged in selling, I would say every one of us is engaged in selling to some regard, but some of us are actually doing it from a professional perspective. That's our job or career. But even those that do that for a living, when they hear the term selling, often think about the pushy salesperson, a person who's calling you at 8:30 in the evening, trying to push on you a product or service that you don't like. I often hear people will say to me, I don't like these things like timeshare presentation because I'm always feeling as if the salespeople are forcing me to do something, are providing information that is only meant to deceive and manipulate me. And I must be honest, that's kind of what selling was about 50, 60 years ago. It was all about getting the sales done by any means necessary. So that if that, excuse me, that meant barging into somebody's office or making a phone call at an ungodly hour or even telling the customer information that was not necessarily true or was communicated in a way to deceive. If it meant that and that led to a sale, then it was okay because sales was seen as a kind of cutthroat job or industry or career where in order for you to be successful, you had to push the envelope. Now, there are still salespeople or still organizations that follow that mantra, that buy into that philosophy. But more so, we're seeing sales or selling, the selling function, coordinating with other functions of marketing in terms of providing information to the customer. So, as a salesperson, you don't see yourself as trying to kind of bring the deal to closure. Instead, what you are seeing is that or how you're viewing yourself, is that information piece, that broker, if you will, between your organization and the customer. Here is a product that, as a salesperson, I believe in. I think has great product attributes and qualities, and I think can create value to you as a customer. And I want to give you that information in a way that helps you to identify and helps you to recognize the value that can be created through acquisition of this product or service. So I'm not going to force it upon you. Rather, I am going to provide you with that information that's going to help you as a customer make the educated decision. And again, that comes from this change or this evolution in selling comes from the approach that firms are taking to their customers. If you look in your book, it talks about again how marketing has changed, and we move from this whole idea of let's build a product, right? And people will buy it if it's a good product, to hey, let's try to actually go out and influence people to buy our stuff, right? We need to make a bigger pitch, a better case, more promotion for our product. That was kind of the selling age. To now, in terms of the marketing age, where we're here to kind of understand the customer and deliver satisfaction to the customer through products and services that meet their requirements. So selling enforces that. It allows the organization to inform customers about what is out there, what types of products and services they have created, and how their products and services can generate more value for the customer. Okay, so it's much more informative than it is trying to be influential. Of course, it has to have an element of influence because at the end of the day, you want this person to buy your product, but you want this person to purchase your product because they firmly believe that it will create value for them. Because if they don't believe that, if they think that they've been sold a con job, if you will, or they've kind of been they've gotten a cat in a bag, then they will not be happy with that purchase, and they're likely not to be loyal to the firm. And that's a big thing. The book again talks about the expected value of a lifetime customer. It is obvious that firms want to keep customers, keep good customers, rather than having to go out every month, every week, every day and find new customers. Because to get a new customer requires you to make that initial cost, right? It's kind of, I use this all the time with my students. It's like, hey, when you get that first phone, they give it to you for free because they're hoping that you're going to stay with them and they're going to recuperate that initial cost. But if you don't stay with them, they lose that. Okay? I had a colleague of mine, and he used to go on first dates all the time. And I said, man, at some point in time, you're going to have to settle down. Not necessarily because I want to see you get married, but because I think your bank account can handle all of these first dates. Because first dates are expensive. You make that initial investment. That's kind of what firms are doing. So they want to inform the market. They want the consumer to understand and appreciate their product and make the decision. Again, consumers now are much more educated, right? They are much better informed about the product or service attribute. They know what they want in a better sense than they knew, let's say, 50, 60 years ago. And so sellers within the marketing mix have to do that. They have to provide the right, and as we've talked about before in this class, in terms of ethics and social responsibility, has to be truthful, has to be honest. Okay, if you provide information to somebody to simply get a say, oh yeah, it'll do this, right? It'll run, it'll have this type of mission, and it doesn't, or it'll last this long and it doesn't. Customers are going to be unhappy, and sometimes even legal legal implications might follow. So selling, it's important to see the transition, moving from just kind of influential, and one can even argue manipulative, to much more informational. How can this product or service help you? What do we have that the competition doesn't have? How is this going to benefit you? All being done in a very honest, a very full of integrity, very ethical manner, being mindful that the customer wants to be the one who makes the final decision voluntarily, does not want to feel as if they've been pushed or manipulated into making that final decision. So think about selling from that perspective, and think about your interactions with salespeople. When you think, hey, this person's given me the information I wanted, and I felt that I've made a decision, versus I feel like I've been forced into it. Which one of those situations did you feel most comfortable in, and were you most comfortable with your purchase? And that can tell you again where effective sales techniques lie, or where effective sales techniques actually are moving towards, or have moved towards. Okay.